Greetings, metalheads worldwide. This is Adina, and I'm going to be talking with you today about the Swiss black metal act Samael. I'm just going to be going over with you some of my favorite albums, what their style is, and when they were released, and some fun facts about them as well. So without further ado, enjoy. Samael is a Swiss act, is formed 1987, of course still active today. The first things that I think of when you say Samael is Waldemar Sorska, that's the producer, Woodhouse Studios, where they recorded, and of course the band, Vorphalak, Zetris, and Masmasheim. Their first album was really great. Worship Him was originally released in 1991 by Osmos Production. My disc was actually released in 1993. It is a joint effort between Osmos Production and JL America, which is another record label. The style of Worship Him is no frills, mid-tempo, straightforward, satanic, black metal. An interesting fact about this album is that Vorphalak, the vocalist and guitarist, and Zitra Guptor, who is the keyboardist and drummer, are brothers. They dedicated this album to the memory of their father. The next album that is one of my favorites is Blood Ritual. This one was released in 1992. It can best be described as mid-tempo, satanic black metal. My favorite track on this one is called After the Sepulture. In fact, in French, sepulture means grave. And coincidentally, Samael is Swiss, and they speak French as well, fluently. And Vorphalak actually periodically does his lyrics in French throughout their discography. Ceremony of Opposites is an album that really kicked up their popularity in a big way, worldwide scale even. This one was released in 1994. It's their classic mid-tempo, satanic black metal with the addition of heavy keyboards and lots of hooks. This album really opened the floodgates for the placement of keyboards in black metal. This was actually the groundbreaking album that declared it was actually acceptable and pretty badass to mix the keyboards at the same level as the other instruments in the recording and also live on stage. I personally know that they toured for this album in the US in 1994 with Cannibal Corpse, Sinister, and Cynic. This is actually the only Samael tour in which a separate keyboardist was used. If I'm not mistaken, I think his name was Rudolph. Ever since then, Zetris performs both the drums and the keyboards live. He's a real maniac, trust me. Passage was another album that really piques my interest because it's really their signature mid-tempo kind of style with more symphonic aspects. The lyrical concept on this one is basically planets, moons, time and space, and maybe a little mocking of God on there a little bit too. This CD actually, the one that I have, is a limited edition. It's a double disc known as Passage plus Zetris. The Zetris CD is the entire Passage album played completely in symphonic by Z. Reign of Light was another favorite album of mine. It was released in 2005. This one is heavily more on the industrial metal side of Samael. This has actually got award-winning production, literally, because Stefan Glauman, who mixed the Rammstein albums, actually mixed this album. The next album that's a favorite of mine is Above. It was released in 2009. This one is basically just full throttle, high speed, sophisticated black metal with just a few elements of electronics mixed in. This album was supposed to be actually a side project of Samael, but ended up becoming part of Samael's discography. In the music, I kind of hear maybe some Impaled Nazarene and Venom influence on this, and also Celtic Frost, which is another big influence of theirs as well. Don't be fooled. You know, this one, even though it's later in their discography, it'll rip your face off. Trust me. I hope you know, will check these albums out if you haven't. I did want to add a few little notes on the side about Samael. The bassist, Masmasheim, was also a member of Swiss act Fourth Reich, and also another Swiss band called Elastis. He did those before he was in Samael. He used to also ride his bike to band practice. Another odd fact is that Samael are vegetarians. They got the idea to do this from Carcass and Napalm Death. So that about covers my favorite Samael albums. I hope you enjoy, and if you agree with my opinions, also make sure to check out my band Blizzard Beast. In the meantime, take care, stay well, see you in hell.